I did have a question somewhere in there and a point to make, which was this does remind me of when we were designing data centers and figuring out the next 5 years, we would buy for max capacity because we knew we were only going to have one shot at that purchase. So it was, I'm going to buy the biggest server I can for, whatever I think my workload is going to be plus 50%, because what if I run out of capacity? Well, you can't run out of capacity on the cloud, but it sounds like when you're going with that reserved instance pricing, you kind of have to deal with it the same way. And that just seems backwards.
Oh, you're also forgetting your crappy procurement department at a typical enterprise. Even if you've gone all in on cloud, I've talked to teams that are running things like folding at home on various instances in between runs. So accounting wouldn't be able to pull up and say, these things are idle, let's turn them off. I mean, the worst thing you can do for your cloud, full stop, is forward port your data center procurement procedures into cloud. I don't see the problem. It used to take 4 months to get servers provisioned. Now you can get instances spun up in only 6 weeks. Great. Make someone jump through those hoops. They're never turning that thing off or giving it back. Would you? You might need it again. And crap, I have goals I need to hit this year. So don't incentivize people to do the wrong thing. Make it easier. Build guardrails, yes, but get the hell out of their way in most cases, because you don't want this to go down to the point where, we made this boneheaded mistake in production. It cost us $20 million. And that's why you can't spin up anything other than these 3 instances in your test account. It's your blast radius is $200 and your engineer you're talking to costs far more than that every day. So get out of their way, give them enough context so they're not going to do things that are ludicrous. Keep an eye on what's in the account, but maybe don't hover over their shoulder like they're about to embezzle money.
There was a really good episode. It might have been on the A16Z podcast. I'd have to look it up, but they had someone from Netflix on that was talking about the way that they approach costs. And it was vastly different than you would expect. They're kind of like, we don't try to optimize that hard. It's really just, we let the engineers do what they're going to do. And, as long as it doesn't go too far outside of range, we're happy with that.
Oh, yeah. Spare me from all the terrible takes on cloud economics. When Lyft was going public and they disclosed in their S1 that they were spending, $100 million a year minimum commit on AWS, the internet lost its collective mind. They could save so much money by doing that in data centers. Like, first, no. Secondly, I think you're dramatically underestimating how much work it is to build one of those things and run it responsibly. 2, at the time, Lyft was losing $900 million a year. So if you drop that $100 million cloud bill to 0 or double it to $200 million, it doesn't really change the arc of their business. It is not a strategic priority for them to optimize what they're spending for the computers compared to the larger economics of ride sharing. Focus on the things that matter to your business. This stuff sort of gets out of the way. This is incidentally why almost no company out there has a comprehensive, thorough cloud economics system that understands what they're doing and that everyone's content with. It's not always a burning priority. I mean, think about this. The people who get this stuff at an intrinsic level are A, extremely expensive, and B, really hard to find. So if you wind up with these engineers who are capable of doing these super deep dives into weird things like database query patterns, so when you're looking at an optimization play, is the best use of their time doing all of that? Or is it helping roll out a new feature that's going to accelerate your business and potentially double revenue if you hit the market at the right time? There's a theoretical upside of 100% of your cloud bill that you're going to be able to save, but you can bring in many times that if you wind up launching the right thing well. Feature velocity, it will always outweigh cost optimization. There's a psychological component to it. Humans as individuals work the opposite way. If I give you a chance of make an extra $1,000 or save $1,000, as most people, we're going to say, it's easier to save $1,000. I'll cancel Netflix and order out less. But for a company, they're the exact opposite. Because, think about this. If you wanted to make another $1,000, well, crap. Now you've got to go ask your boss for a raise, or you've got to get your resume in order to start interviewing. And it's awful. Businesses are structured the exact opposite, where it's easier for them to make more revenue than it is for them to cut costs. It's a weird corporate psychology thing I never saw coming until I got started.